General Hospital spoilers tease that Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, finally realized this week that something was terribly wrong with him. As viewers know, it all started months ago when Valentin Cassadine, James Patrick Stewart, took over the Pikeman Group. Valentin knew that Pikeman had failed to assassinate Sonny several times prior to his taking over, so he decided to take a different route to get rid of Sonny. He had Sonny's pharmacist alter his bipolar medication so that Sonny was only receiving a quarter of the correct dosage. The plan was that Sonny would become so violent that he would commit a crime and go to prison. Although he came close, Sonny never quite reached that point. He beat Dex Heller, even Hofer, to within an inch of his life. But Dex survived and decided not to press charges. It wasn't long after this that Ava Jerome, Maura West, realized that Sonny's meds weren't working, so she had them tested. But she kept quiet for her own reasons. And when her own relationship with Sonny turned sour, Ava blackmailed the pharmacist to completely replace Sonny's medication with placebos. When Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy, fell from Ava's hotel room several stories down into the Metro Court pool, both Christina and her unborn baby were seriously injured. The baby didn't survive. When Sonny tried to visit Christina's hospital room, he was stopped by Molly Lansing-Dagas, Kristen Veganos, who made clear exactly how little she thought of Sonny. Her words were scathing. Defeated, Sonny went to the roof of General Hospital and planned to jump. Bernard masterfully played Sonny at his lowest point, dejected and remembering all his loved ones who he believed he had failed. But his subconscious wasn't ready to let go, so Sonny began having visions of his late son Morgan Corinthos, Brian Craig. Although Sonny believed he was seeing his son and having the conversation, he was really talking to himself. Sonny ultimately listened to Morgan and made his way to Kevin Collins' John Lindstrom office. Bernard portrayed a man with nowhere to go but up. His quiet desperation was mesmerizing. GA spoilers. What do you think? How did you feel about Sonny's scenes with Morgan? Did you feel for Sonny as Molly tore into him? Could you see the light beginning to come back to his eyes once he began taking his medication again? Anything can happen in Port Charles, so stay tuned to General Hospital, airing weekdays on ABC. Don't forget to check back right here regularly for all your General Hospital news, information, and spoilers. There's a reason Maurice Bernard has remained a centerpiece of General Hospital for decades, and this past week, he reminded everyone exactly why. In a soap filled with layered emotions, shifting alliances, and deep-rooted secrets, Bernard delivered a masterclass in vulnerability, rage, and psychological depth, making Sonny Corinthos the emotional heartbeat of Port Charles once again. Whether you love Sonny, hate him, or find yourself torn between those extremes, there's no denying that Bernard's performance this week earned him the spotlight, as from the moment Sonny's first scene hit the screen this week, viewers could feel the simmering tension bubbling beneath his polished exterior. Gone is the man who once kept his emotions in check while quietly controlling the criminal underworld. What we saw instead was a fractured man, edgy, reactive, and heartbreakingly human. The internal war between Sonny's darker impulses and his desperate attempts to maintain control played out in every twitch of Bernard's jaw, every furrow of his brow, and every tear that threatened to fall but never quite did. This wasn't just Sonny spiraling. This was a man unraveling at the seams, and Bernard's portrayal was nothing short of mesmerizing. The slightest gestures, clenching his fists, the flicker of his eyes, the heavy sighs, spoke volumes, often more than the dialogue itself. It was clear, Sonny is in trouble, and it's not just from his enemies, it's from himself. One of the most haunting scenes this week was Sonny's confrontation with Ava. A tense, emotionally charged exchange that peeled back the layers of Sonny's psyche. It showed a man who no longer trusts his own instincts. Bernard brought a palpable sense of paranoia to the scene, shifting rapidly from accusatory rage to aching vulnerability. Ava, cool and calculating as ever, tried to navigate his mood swings, but Sonny's volatility stole the moment. "You think I don't see what's going on?" he barked, voice trembling with a mixture of fury and fear. "You think I don't know who's watching me?" In that moment, Sonny wasn't a mob boss. He was a man lost in the chaos of his own mind, flailing for clarity, for control, for something to anchor him. Bernard's delivery didn't just evoke sympathy, it struck a nerve. One of Bernard's greatest strengths as an actor has always been his ability to portray mental health struggles with nuance and authenticity. This week, those skills were on full display. As Sonny began showing signs of erratic behavior and disorganized thinking, Bernard didn't overplay it. He didn't lean into theatrics or melodrama. Instead, he made Sonny's descent disturbingly real. The scene in which Sonny snapped at Dex, seemingly out of nowhere, was a standout moment. His outburst was sudden, fierce, and almost jarring. But just as quickly as the storm appeared, it faded, leaving behind a man who looked shell-shocked by his own actions. Bernard layered the performance with remorse, confusion, and a quiet undercurrent of shame. It was subtle, it was powerful, and it was quintessential Maurice Bernard. Of course, Bernard didn't just give us an unhinged Sonny. He gave us glimpses of the old protector, the fierce patriarch who has always fought tooth and nail for his family. When he held his granddaughter in his arms, there was a softness that returned to his face, a flicker of the Sonny that fans fell in love with years ago. But even those moments were tinged with unease. As he cradled the baby, viewers saw his hands tremble slightly. His eyes darted around the room, suspicious and uncertain. Bernard expertly conveyed that Sonny's instability lurks just beneath the surface, waiting to boil over. It made even the tender moments feel tense, like ticking time bombs. This week also gave Bernard the chance to explore Sonny's growing isolation. He's surrounded by people, yet lonelier than ever. The walls he spent years building around himself are starting to close in, and there's no one he truly trusts, not even himself. In quiet, contemplative scenes, Bernard portrayed Sonny's loneliness with aching subtlety. Watching him sit alone in his office, staring out the window with vacant eyes, was almost more heartbreaking than his violent outbursts. There was a haunted look on his face, a man remembering better days, questioning his choices, wondering when exactly he lost control of his empire. And himself. Even in scenes where the dialogue was relatively straightforward, Bernard elevated the material with his sheer presence. His voice, sometimes low and gravelly, sometimes rising in frantic bursts, kept viewers on edge. His eyes told stories even when the script didn't, and his chemistry with every actor he shared the screen with, be it Cynthia Watros, Nina, Maura West, Ova, or even Hofer, Dex, was magnetic. Every scene with Sonny felt like must-watch TV, not because of what was said, but because of how Bernard embodied the turmoil of a man falling apart. There's a reason he's a Daytime Emmy winner. He brings authenticity, complexity, and emotional truth to every role. And this week, he didn't just remind us why Sonny Corinthos is a soap legend. He redefined it. If this week was any indication, Sonny's journey is about to take a dark and dangerous turn. Whether he's experiencing a relapse in his bipolar disorder, reacting to unseen manipulation, or slowly losing grip due to years of trauma, one thing is certain. Maurice Bernard is steering this storyline with raw intensity. And fans are watching closely. Social media is already buzzing with speculation. Is Sonny heading for a breakdown? Will he push away everyone who loves him before it's too late? Or will someone finally step in to help before he self-destructs? Whatever direction the writers take, one thing's for sure, Maurice Bernard will deliver. And if this past week was a preview of what's to come, we're in for one of the most powerful arcs in recent GH history. In a world of ever-changing soap characters, Maurice Bernard's portrayal of Sonny Corinthos remains timeless. This week, he didn't just perform, he transported us. He made us feel every flicker of fear, every surge of anger, every moment of heartbreaking self-doubt. And for that, he easily earns the title of Bravo Maurice. You reminded us that even the most powerful man in Port Charles can be the most fragile, and that's the kind of storytelling that stays with us long after the episode ends.